This is Kollin Thompson on November 7th, 2021, interviewing Evelyn Lee. Okay, well, we can get started whenever you are ready.
Okay. And this is the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Center Oral History Interviews. And to you, I ask, what is your full name?
You talking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
What you ask me?
What is your full name?
My full name is Evelyn Lee.
And your place of birth?
In Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, Beaufort County.
Your date of birth?
January 25th, 1941.
Do you say Black, African American, or Gullah Geechee when referring to yourself?
African American. Black.
When did you become aware that you descended from Gullah Geechee people?
Lord, Jamal, I cannot remember. I don't know. In the 50s or whatever.
Where are you from and what was it like growing up?
What?
Where are you from and what was it like growing up?
Where I'm from?
And what was it like growing up?
I'm from Hilton Head on Squireport Road.
Yes, ma'am. And what was it like growing up?
Oh, Lord Jamal. It was okay. It wasn't like it is now, okay?
So what was it like? What school did you attend? What schools did you attend?
What?
What schools did you attend?
First, I went to Hope School across the street from where we live. Then I went to the junior high school. I forgot where that is now. Then went to Michael C. Riley.
Michael C. Riley High School.
In Boston, South Carolina. Mm-hmm.
What were some of the most memorable events from your childhood?
What?
What were some of the events that you remember from your childhood? What were some of the...
Oh, Lord. The event I remember?
Some of the events, right? Yes, ma'am.
I know, like we didn't have no street lights. We didn't have no dirt. We didn't have no paved. We had dirt road. And there wasn't no cars until a certain time. And we had to go to church. We had to walk to the church. And
What was holidays like for you? What were the holidays like?
Oh, holidays was great. Like this is like, for instance, like Thanksgiving time or Christmas time. You know, the only time that we got fruits is during the holiday or most of Christmas time. But at Christmas time, the neighbors got together and they be at our home. My dad and people that back they just slaughter the pigs and everybody had meat and it was great. It was great. Yeah, we got our toys and stuff. But the only time we got something like that time. And getting the oranges and apples until during the holiday.
And what other places have you lived?
Hmm?
What other places, what other cities or towns have you lived? What other places or towns that you've lived?
That I live in.
That you've lived in? Yes, ma'am.
Well, when I went to school
And what school was that?
in Columbia, I stayed in Columbia, but it was Benedict on the campus in South Carolina. And I came back to Savannah, and that's where I've been right here since 1963.
Okay. Can you tell me about your parents and grandparents? Can you tell me about your parents and grandparents?
My dad was Arthur Sonny Murray. My mother was Annabelle Walters Murray. I don't remember my granddaddy. I remember some about my grandma, but not very much. So, but I know where they used to live, and we used to go down there and stuff like that. So, and they had orchards with all oranges, and they had peaches and stuff like that, pecans and all that. But I don't remember anything else about them.
What were their names, your grandparents?
Hmm?
What were their names, your grandparents?
My granddad was Benjamin Walters, and my grandmother was Sophie, I think Sophie Green Walters. Stop it.
Did you all have a name for the area where your grandparents lived? Did y'all call it something?
Hmm?
Did y'all call where your grandparents lived? Did y'all call that something? Did y'all have a name for it?
We used to call that down home.
Okay.
Going to my house, down home.
Why is family important to you? Why is family important to you? Why is family important to
Why
you?
family is
Yeah, why is
important?
family important to you?
Oh, family are important because we are to love one another regardless of what happened. You can agree and disagree, but you still come back to family. Don't, whatever going on, don't let anyone come in between you and family, because blood is thicker than water. You have family, sometimes you don't get along and with them, but remember one thing, family is family. And that's one thing our mother and our father with us, the family stands together regardless of what happened. That you'd have that love there. You love them whether they right or wrong, you let them know, and you just go on. But you still that family. That bond is not to be broken by anyone. And it's with our family, we are all of us are close. Always was, and we still are. Mm.
Who are some of the most memorable people from your childhood? Some of the most memorable people from your childhood. Who are some of the people who stand out from your childhood?
Oh Lord. Let's see. I remember this my spiritual mother. Because when I prayed, I had to have a spiritual mother. Miss Hannah Barnwell was my spiritual mother. And I remember Miss Olivia Wright, my school teacher, Miss Rosalie Barnwell, Mr. Dodgen Singleton. And we had I remember Deacon Eddie Bryan Senior used to come to our house on East Sunday, Christmas morning. That's our first visitor on Christmas morning to come to our home. And oh Lord, and I miss Miss Dorothy Johnson, Lawyer Johnson. She was there, but I didn't really get to know her until after we didn't know her till after I came over here and joined the Philip Monumental. But she was just like a second mom to me. And my uncles, Uncle Joseph, well, the family. That's it.
And who were some of the most memorable people from your adulthood? Who were some of who were some of the most memorable people from your adulthood? People that you remember now when you became an adult. Who were some of the people that you remember?
Oh, my adulthood. Lord have mercy, Jamal. It's many.
You had said Dorothy Johnson. So
Huh?
you had said like Dorothy Johnson. Like you said Dorothy Johnson.
Yeah, yeah, Miss Dorothy Johnson. But they gone. They gone.
No, that's what we're just trying to acknowledge and remember them. That's what we want.
And calling aunt, my husband aunt and Viola. Mm-hmm. Jamal, I can't get this right now.
What did you do for fun growing up? What did you do for fun growing up? What did you all do for fun growing up?
What did we do for fun?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't go anywhere. We just stayed at home and well, with us, we couldn't go anywhere. We just visit a couple of neighbors' home, and then we used to go to this Helen Bryan them house. That's Sarah, my best friend. She's gone. Go to her house, and we can go to this lawyer, Miss Mary Lawyer house, and we'd be home and we'd be there. We have in our backyard. We had a hopscotch game draw in the yard. It's been down in there, and we had the grass thing. We'd be playing with that too, braid them up and put things on them and stuff. And they would play ball or right in the yard and stuff. No fun because we couldn't go down to the beach because Mom would let us go to the beach. And don't stop doing nothing else.
What foods did you like to eat?
Hmm?
What foods and treats did you like?
What food?
Foods and treats, yes.
We were never without food. We had farm, we had, oh goodness, we had greens and butter beans and peas and corn and squash, all the vegetables and the watermelon and the fish. They go and catch fish and have crab and shrimp. I mean, that's all of it. And we had the cow. We had to milk the cow. Get the milk that we had. And we had and get our syrup. We used to go to Mr. Massey, Elijah Jones. He had the milk, so you buy the can and go there, and he do it on Saturday morning. Take it and whatever they did, we get our syrup and stuff. But food, we were never without food. Always something we had. We had to do it.
What food did you like that your mother made?
Hmm?
What food did you like that your mother made? What food did you like that your mother made? What were some of the favorite foods that your mother made that you like?
Some of the what?
What was some of the food, like some of the food dishes like?
Oh, I mean, do I like the fish? I still love them now.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I love greens and I love squash and I love fish and I love shrimp and sweet potato. I still like them all, okra and all. But my daddy didn't like okra because he said you couldn't chew it, so it just slipped down. But we had this. The food back then, eat then. I love them right now. I still love the same food I used to have.
And just four more questions. That's it. We'll be finished. And this question is, how do you practice your faith? How do you practice your faith?
My faith. I practice my faith 24/7. Every day, every morning that the Lord wake me up and open my eyes to see a brand new day, I thank him. I thank him for me. I thank him for my children. I thank him for my family. I thank him for my grands, my great grands. I thank him for the world and my neighbors and all. But my faith is in God, and I try on an everyday basis to do and to remember the things that he asks to do, to love your neighbor as yourself. And on these 3 commandments, hang all the law and the Lord. So I try to practice that. As far as I'm hoping that I'm doing the right thing. And I thank him, for him because he didn't have to do it. And he sent his son for my sin and the world. So I try to do that 24/7 all the time. All the time.
This is an add-on. How did you get baptized? How did you get baptized?
Oh, I got baptized. I know I was in the 5th grade. And the schools right across from us, and we had to, well, I prayed during that time that I came up. We didn't go and just give our hand. We had to pray. We had to go in the wilderness and pray. So I started mine that Sunday evening, and you couldn't be around anyone. You had to be by yourself, and you tie a string around your head. But where I was, we had a wagon under that oak tree in the back, and during the day, that's where I would be. I didn't be with my brothers and sisters and my mom and them during the day. And you be down and you sleep and you dream, and you tell mom my dream, and if you dream about it, stuff like that. So, and then they decide that whoever you dream about, that to be your spiritual. And I dream, and that when I would go down and tell Miss Barnwell my dream, and it took me a week. And that Saturday, God bless Reverend J.C. Simmons, was my Calvary Baptist Church, and that's the church I choose to go to. My dad, they belong to Central Oak Grove, so I went to with my mom. And we was another young lady, Martha Lawyer. We made it through, and we went down to the Hudson called the Skull Creek.
Skull Creek, yes, ma'am.
And they sang that song from Calvary Church to the water. Take me to the water to be baptized. And that's where we went, and we were baptized that Saturday morning. Reverend J.C. Simmons and Mr. Eddie Bryan and someone else, because the more than, yeah, you had the white outfit on and stuff. So that's what I was baptized in the river.
Okay.
River. And the funny thing about it, after I was baptized, after that, my brother went and joined the church. He didn't have to pray. He gave his hand. So that was it. But I was without. Well, and anyway, I had no regret being because you couldn't go be with your friends and stuff. But they will come by that house and by that road, the street. There wasn't no paved streets or road, and they would come by making noise and stuff. But I didn't turn back. I kept on. I kept on. Yes, but now they just go up and tell the pastors or whatever, and whatever they do. But I didn't regret at all going in the wilderness to sacrifice for whatever.
Okay. What changes have you seen or experienced in your life? What changes have you seen? What changes have you seen from the time you grew up to now? What changes? What changes have you seen in life? How have you seen life change? What changes?
What changes?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh Lord, it's a lot of change since from when I came up, and now, ooh. Sometimes I wonder if it'd be best to go back to the old days. It's just some is changes. The change has really changed. Oh, but then again, some change are for the best because places that I could go back when I was young. Now they can go. So that's one thing they need to have it. And the blacks, there's a lot of. I this I,
What advice would you give people today about life? What advice would you give people today about life?
Don't take life for granted. Live it to the fullest. Have respect, manners, and do the right thing. Don't be judgmental because we all have some fault somewhere. But manners and respect, it will take you where nothing else will take you. I was once told that you can have all the money and everything what you got, but if you don't have manners and respect, especially for the young children, the young ones, some old ones too, but the young ones, they need to have manners and respect. Because if you got money and then you ain't got nobody to respect you, they can see you and pass. They can say that child right there or whoever they is don't have no manners and respect. So why should I help them? But remember always to honor and your elders, the manners. Just the manners and respect. Manners and respect. You can't say something nice, but someone don't say anything. Don't say anything. But I just always put the manners and respect. That's it for me. And that's it.
And this is the second to the last question. What do you remember about City Market? What do you remember about City Market in Savannah?
It's City Market. It used to be Alexander grocery store. That's where my daddy and them used to get all the staples like rice and grits and flour, all that stuff. And the other place called Julian. God bless this lady, Miss I know Miss Lucy used to be there. And we used to Mr. Charlie Simmons used to pick us up from there. We used to go, and be there. Miss Lucy used to have her little fruits and stuff, but mostly the people would go shopping, and they would come and leave their packet with Miss Lucy and go back and shop some more, and that's where we used to be come from. You know, Mr. Charlie used to load us up from there and bring us home, take us back home. But it wasn't the city market and like it was back like it is now. The place that had, you know. I am through tomorrow.
This is the last question is, when did you start working? That's the last question. When did you start working? When did you start working?
I started working.
When did you start working?
Oh,
On or about when you think.
Okay. I started working first year or two. I was working to the Hilton Inn, the William Hilton Inn. And I was going to school and working during the summer. And then after that, I worked there for a couple of years. Then I got married and I came home, but I didn't work after I got married, I came here.
Okay. And can you name, what was your husband's name? Because you never said his full name. What was your husband's name?
Claude Lee Jr.
Okay. And we thank you for this interview. You'll get a recording of this, and we'll get the statement for you, the release for
I
you to
hope they
sign.
edit.
Huh?
I hope they edit it and take
No.
out all them.
No, they don't need to edit
you
it.
caught me at the wrong time.
They don't need to edit.
I can't remember all that stuff.
You gave out some great information that I know others have not discussed. That's why and I said this, Kollin, what happened? Like the question was posed to ask her why was she selected. She didn't necessarily know why she was selected, but I understood why. Because one of the most important things, what she said, she talked about the baptism. Not many people talk about the baptism. And also she talked about the seeking experience. That is absolutely important because, and when my mother then said that, she was like one of the last ones to go through that. Everyone else do the right hand of fellowship. So with her putting that out there, that is a rare discussion that most people don't know and don't realize. And then she threw up something that what I know, and it's something that was simple that she said, but when she talked about the white string, some people, if they talk about the seeking, never talk about the cloth that's put on their head. And so that's why, that's why, because she has some pertinent information that a lot of people don't know. So that's why she was selected. That's why I said she got to be one. So yeah, because I was going to tell you to call me. That's why I was going to tell you. That's what it is. But since I put it out there, that's what it's about. So yes, yeah, we'll get the release to you.
Okay. Well, I thank you greatly for doing the interview, and Dr. Torah, I thank you for being so gracious to facilitate it.
Yes, and I'll be working on Pat the Coat also.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you. All right.
Have a good day.
Then you. All right.